You know that moment in life when you feel stuck in a rut, just completely lost and alone? Don't enjoy what you're doing in your career, hate what you see when you look in the mirror, or simply feel like your life isn't fulfilling and something's missing. Let's find what ignites your passion. Hi, my name is Danielle Stone, and I'm a success mentor and motivational speaker. Originally from a small country town in southern Saskatchewan, Canada, since I can remember, I've always been passionate about empowering women to help them really achieve anything they want to in their lives. Ignite with Danielle Stone exists because I believe women truly are the leaders of our future, and they hold so much more power than they allow themselves to believe. By providing motivational talks, mentoring, online support, tools, and resources, I specialize in working with females to empower them to become a better, more confident, balanced version of themselves. Researchers say there are 5 major changes or traumatic events an individual can go through that causes stress, anxiety, and emotional instability. Those 5 changes are being away from family and friends, ending a relationship, moving, loss or a change of a job, and sadly, sickness or a death. Now, because these changes are so traumatic, you're not supposed to experience more than 1 or 2 within a 12-month period, if you can help it. But I've always been one for pushing the boundaries. For me, 2015 was the utmost challenging and darkest year I've ever experienced. It brought me to a whole new low, and I was forced to face all 5 of these events within under 9 months. But through this, I learned some pretty valuable lessons that's inspired me to help others. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is about you. It's about empowering you so that you can learn through my story and walk out of here this evening with practical tools that, when applied, can truly change your life. With that said, here's my story. It all started back in May of 2015 with only 7 months remaining on my visa. Looking for sponsorship at the time, I went through the biggest breakup of my life. The person whom I thought was my soulmate turned out not to be. I moved a total of 6 times to interstate, changed jobs 3 times, and with only 4 months remaining on my visa, was pursuing sponsorship with my current employer. Then I got a phone call from Canada stating that my dog, Lily, whom my parents were watching while I was over here, was sadly struck by a train and killed instantly. As my cries became days apart, I remember going through all of this trauma and change all by myself and thinking, okay, Danielle, things possibly can't get any worse from here. It's going to be going up. And boy, was I wrong. I was out one evening in Melbourne where I was viciously attacked and my face mauled by a dog. I remember waking up from emergency surgery and realizing that the surgeons had literally taken the right hand side of my lip and pulled it completely across my face to reattach it to what was left on the left-hand side. I felt like an absolute freak. I was told by the surgeons that I had several surgeries ahead of me and that depending on the healing process, they didn't know if I would ever be able to smile correctly again. A few days later, I received a phone call from immigrations this time, stating that my employer sponsorship had been denied and that I had 17 days to leave the country. Like anyone could assume, my negative thoughts at this stage began to spiral completely out of control. However, the final blow. And that was that my last remaining grandmother, I got a phone call from Canada saying that she had passed away. I remember when I got the phone call how numb to the pain I felt because I knew I couldn't attend the funeral because I had just 17 days to try to find and secure sponsorship to stay here in Australia. With the snap of a finger, my life literally fell apart before my eyes. I found myself locked behind closed doors, feeling alone, very unhappy, and in a dark place many of us nowadays refer to as depression. But with the change of one simple thing, my life began to turn around. Tonight, I'm going to talk to you about how to shift your mindset. Let's begin. How is it that some people always seem to be successful and others are not? Think of one person right now in your life who manages to achieve everything they want. Perhaps they have an amazing job, a happy relationship, or a relaxing and lavish lifestyle. Now, think of someone the complete opposite, who every time you hear their name, you cringe a little bit inside because you know every word that comes out of their mouth is going to be negative. They lost their job, they got into a car accident, whatever it may be. Now, what's the difference between these two individuals? There's one power that the universe has given both of these individuals and every single person sitting in this room tonight. And that is the power of choice. This power allows us to change anything we want, regardless of our circumstances. We can choose what to focus on. We can choose who we surround ourselves with. We can choose what to do and how to interpret things. Think of one choice that you all have made in your life that perhaps, if you didn't make it, you may be down a completely different path. And I'm not always talking about for the good. Your life could have been better, it could have been worse, I don't know. But whatever it is, it's a direct result of that choice that you made. The power of choice exists in all of us. I want you to take a moment and really ponder that. My choice is no different from yours, which is no different from the person sitting next to you this evening. We are all a direct result of the choices that we've made in our lives. Whether big or small, they all affect us in some way. Thinking back now to when I was attacked by the dog, I was sitting there with half a lip, about to be kicked out of the country, and my family and entire support network half a world away. Every ounce of my body wanted to give up, wanted to give in. But I knew what that result would lead to, and I wasn't yet ready to go down that path. So it was that day that I made that choice, that decision to stop playing the victim and use every ounce of energy that I had left in my body to finding sponsorship to stay here in Australia. Now, that was a big decision for me. But it's not always the big decisions that oftentimes have the greatest impacts. Take, for example, you all made the decision to come here tonight, yes? So what if I told you that because you came here this evening, you connected so well with one of the speakers that's going to be up on stage here this evening, and you left tonight so inspired that tomorrow you made a decision that impacted the rest of your life for the better? Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? So coming here tonight could really impact you. But what I'm trying to get at is that you made that choice to come. I just want you to all see the power you hold in the simple ability to make a choice, a decision. Now, if you want a different life, you need to start making new choices. I know every single person sitting in this room listening to me right now has a choice that they've been putting off. I want you to take a moment and truly think about that right now. It could be that you don't like where you're living. You can move. It could be that you hate your job. You can change. It could be that when you look in the mirror, you don't like what you see. You can change your body. And lastly, it could be that you're not happy in the relationship that you're in. You can choose to stay or leave. Don't settle. You have the ability right now to change your life. So start making real decisions, guys. Because when you realize that you hold that power, that key to the ignition, you become unstoppable. So make that decision you thought about earlier tonight and commit to a better future. because you may not even realize it, but you are literally one choice away from a completely different life. Thinking back now to my 2015 from absolute hell, I can honestly say that even through all the pain, grief, and despair that I experienced, I actually wouldn't change anything. Because it was through this trauma that I learned that your mindset is everything. And when you know that you have the ability to shift that into a more positive state, you can truly change any aspect of your life. For me, I now have my visa sorted. I'm loving my life in Sydney, and I can smile again. We all have the ability to shift our mindset, and we all have the power to choose. So regardless of your circumstances, say no to stress, anxiety, and emotional instability, and embrace the ability you hold to shift your mindset. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.